It's important to note that this is a social game. I would argue that half the reason anybody plays this game, and I've said this before, is because people have microphones, because people are talking. It's kind of like Twitter. It's the town square. It's where people are. The chat ban system is totally egregious. It's completely over the top. People are getting banned for really saying almost anything, really above and beyond all the derogatory terms that we're used to and the racist terms and all that stuff. It's really going beyond that. And, I have a simple question for the COD devs. Does the chat AI, does it understand context? I think that's pretty important, because if it doesn't, then we're going to run into some problems, and I think we have. And that's really the problem with AI. It's artificial, but it's not intelligent. So if I have, like, say, 3 reports from somebody, just generally speaking, they go down the list, they hit everything, and I'm not even talking to them. Maybe we never said any words, but then maybe in addition to that, I've been cursing or saying whatever. A combination of that is what's ultimately banning people. The problem here is that it really entices report culture. It's very common that people are getting banned now. Since people know that it's so egregious, they're adding insult to injury. So what do I mean by that? If I have a good game and dunk on people, which is like very often, I'm probably getting reported like all the way down the list. They're just ticking every fucking box. And who's to blame them? Because everyone's doing it to everyone. So now we're in this weird place where the whole community is just reporting ad nauseum, cheating, not cheating, whatever. They're hitting every fucking thing. And so now you go into these lobbies and they're dead silent. A lot of them are dead silent. I mean, some people are talking, but generally it's funny. The best people from both teams, the top 2-3 players, a lot of times they're not talking. And you know why that is because people got salty and they reported them. So this is a very toxic environment to be in. And not for the reasons they think. The interesting thing about this whole thing, this is clearly an effort by the devs to gain control of its community. It's not like we don't all have a mute button. So this is a conscious effort to go beyond that and really dictate what the language even is to begin with, how the game's perceived, because who cares really what anyone says? If people are saying the N-word, if people are using derogatory language, like everyone can mute everyone. So really, why are we not trusting the individual? Because now that's a little bit weird. Another question for the devs, what is the obsession with trying to be our parents? What's with all the policing? It's just completely ridiculous. That is not your place. It's weird to do it in a game that's inherently competitive. People are getting off work. They're tired. They want to play a game. They want to have some release. It makes sense. I'm not saying it's right. Nobody should be cussing everybody out all the time. This shouldn't be so toxic per se, but it makes sense that it would be. I think the idea is that they want more casual players involved. But this game, like I said, it's always going to be competitive at some level. Even your casual games get heated. That's just how the game is. It's a straightforward FPS shooter. It's not very complicated. It's always generally a skill matchup. People are going to get irritated, and that's fine. That's part of the game. The other shitty thing too is this is a weird statement, but aren't the people talking shit kind of like the Trailblazers? Aren't these the most competitive people on the platforms? Aren't they the ones kind of pushing the boundaries? And I'm not saying that gives merit to everybody screaming obscenities, but aren't they kind of the flag bearers in the fucking community? Aren't they kind of driving the conversation, shitty or not? It's weird to alienate the people that are probably the most invested into the game. And like I said, it's not like the people that don't like that can't just mute them and not be a part of it. I mean, they have the ability to do that. So what is this communist conscious effort to really manhandle the community in a certain way? Because this, like I said, is a step backwards. This does not promote play. This is going to push people away, not bring people in. They talk about the broader audience. I don't really think there's much broader audience here. I think we know what type of people play these games. And the people that don't like Call of Duty just don't like Call of Duty. They're already not playing. They made the smart move. They're playing the single player games. They're playing the quality games. They've moved on. They're over it already. So who are we really trying to win over with this? It just doesn't make any sense. And I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. I don't care. I'm not salty about getting banned. I'm playing other stuff. I'm involved elsewhere. I really don't care if I don't play COD again, to be quite honest. But this seems like a very bad management decision over there. I know this affects a lot of other people that don't play with the team. I'm playing with 4 or 5 guys when I get on, all the time, pretty consistently. So, I mean, we're in a Discord or whatever. So it's not a big deal. It doesn't really matter to me so much. But I think when you look at the game and the community as a whole, this is very devastating to a lot of people. Yeah, I just think this whole situation really calls into question, what really is still special about Call of Duty? If the one thing holding it all together, the community, isn't even allowed to have discourse. If everyone's just getting banned left and right, if nobody can talk anymore, what's still special here? I struggle to see how Call of Duty is really still a monopoly. I don't think it should be. It can't be that hard for another company to come in, make 10 to 12 maps, add some movement, good gunplay, and just allow free speech. There are plenty of other games allowing almost total free speech. Counter-Strike's a good example. There's plenty of other games that don't involve much talking at all that are a lot more fun to play than this game. So can Call of Duty survive on its current trajectory as the household FPS shooter? I think its days are numbered after this latest move they pulled with all this AI chat banning bullshit. I think it seriously calls into question the longevity of this franchise. If any of this resonated with you, consider subscribing. Thanks to all the current subscribers, and thanks everybody for watching.
Dang.
We're deactivating the bomb.